Hi guys, so our indoor mall's open, so I just went there to buy some hand sanitizers for my family and friends in Korea because they don't have the little ones you can hang on your backpack from Bath and Body Works. Anyway, I went in there, bought that, and then my family's like, "All right, let's go shopping." I'm like, "No!" So I just ended up in my car. I hate shopping, and then just because I wear contacts, all that indoor air just messes with my eyes when you have contacts. Anyway, today I want to talk about the biggest thing with skateboards. Probably hub versus belts. When would you want a hub? When would you want a belt? So recently, you guys know that my recent build, I built a single belt. The reason why I did that is for more comfortable ride. So with the belt system, you can choose pretty much any wheel combination. So I went with a 97 millimeter wheel. Had I went with hubs, you could get 90 millimeter hub wheels, but with hubs, especially the larger you go, it becomes much heavier. So I have like 70 millimeter hub wheels. I've got 80 millimeter, 90 millimeter. The 9 millimeter is not too bad, but they're just not the comfort level you want. Because you think about it, the actual urethane that's on the hub motors is very small. So if you wanted to get something comfortable, you want to get like a full urethane wheel, which belt offers. So that's why I went with belt wheels, belt, and also upgradability. For example, you ride on your hubs for 6 months and you're like, okay, I want to try some new wheels. Well, you don't really have much choice. You're pretty much stuck with hubs, right? So that's something you got to think about. The wheel customization of wheels is pretty much non-existent with hubs. You're pretty much stuck with whatever wheel you chose in the beginning. Now there are a few companies. I think was that Backtrack or something. They do make like off-road wheels, hub wheels. And another thing to think about is when you go with the larger wheel, you're going to need more torque. And if you go with a hub, you don't have any gearing, which means without gearing, you're not going to have that extra torque. But with belt, as you go with a larger wheel size, for example, if you went from like a 90 millimeter, 97 millimeter urethane, and then you went to like 160 millimeter or 6-inch rubber wheels, then you would also upgrade the wheel pulley at the same time. So your gearing would become from, instead of 2-to-1, you can go from 2-to-1 to 3-to-1 or 4-to-1. You might actually gain more torque by going with bigger wheels. But that's not the case with hubs. The larger you go, you're just going to lose a ton of torque. And if you're doing, really large wheels, 6 inches or higher, or pneumatic wheels, I mean, we're talking, you're going to need some serious power just to drive those bigger wheels. And it's just going to be very not efficient. Now, hubs are not all that bad. Hubs are great if you don't need, if you're riding on perfectly smooth concrete. If you want that, like, sort of, skateboard feel, you like the bumps, then you might be okay with hubs. And hubs can be good if you run out of battery. There's no resistance like geared skateboards. So with hubs, when you run out of battery life, then you can use it just like a regular skateboard or regular longboard. So those are the things you got to think about. So yeah, hubs are fun. I like hubs, but where I live, especially, it's very steep hills. Again, it comes to steep hills, you're not gonna get anywhere with hubs because I have the Meepo ER, the Mini ER, which has the Samsung 40T. That can go up the hills pretty fast, faster than my belt. But after about 5 minutes of going these steep hills, the board will cut out suddenly from overheating. So even if you have all that power, the problem with hubs, it can't continuously go up like steep hills because your motor and everything will just overheat. So that's another thing to think about. But if you live on perfectly flat ground, if you gonna ride this on like in the city on the sidewalk, like perfectly smooth surfaces, um, hubs could be the way to go. So those are the real differences, and I think you should think about it. As far as pricing, price would be about the same, just but the level of customization belt offers is just so much more better. Of course, you do have to think about um, the belt. The belt can, basically come off, or it can degrade. But usually, if you're riding on like regular roads, your belt's gonna last you forever. It's gonna last you like at least a couple hundred miles. It's not gonna just, break. And what I do is I always carry a set of belt and the skate tool, and that's all you need. You need to undo it and put the new belt. It's so simple. You just need the skate tool, the little tool, and the belt. So I would just always carry it with me, so you never get stranded. But if you have hubs, you won't have to worry about that, obviously. No. So I think that if you gotta go with the hubs, or if you want to go with the belts, really think about what you're gonna do in like 6 months or a year. Are you going to upgrade your hub, or are you not going to upgrade it? So that's something to really think about. And yeah, I just want to share that, and do share your opinions. Why do you use a hub motor? Why you use a belt motor? So let me know your thoughts, and yeah, I'll have another session if you guys have any questions about belt or hub, or if you have a certain question when you're buying a board or building a board. Max, like I live on flat ground, I live in the city, I don't ever have to go through bad roads, I live in this brand new city, then you're probably better off hubs, because you never have to deal with that extra, extra torque you need. Like I like going off-road, so sometimes like I have a bunch of boards that I used to ride urethane, and then I changed to rubber, and then I changed to pneumatics, and this just level of comfort is so much different. And also another thing is speed. If you want to go really fast, some people swear by urethane, but you hit it like a pothole and you're just gonna face plant, or you're just gonna fall. Urethane is great on perfect roads, but they're just not made for bumpy roads, potholes, real life situations. So then that's why most of my new boards, except for the portable one, the portable slow board, I have the urethane because I'm not going fast. I'm not worried about, hitting a pothole because I'll be going slow. I'll be able to slow down. But for my faster, regular longboards, I will go with pneumatics. I'll swear by pneumatics, or at least rubber. Because the amount of traction you get with rubber and pneumatics is so much more. And when you're dealing with oil spills on the road, like things you can't see, and you're going 25 miles per hour, 30 miles per hour, and you hit that on urethane, you're gonna just crash. It's different from downhill longboarding, because downhill longboarding, it's made to slide. You're always constantly sliding. But on electric skateboard, we're on flat ground. We're not trying to slide. We're just actually trying to have traction. So there's a difference, a huge difference. It's not the same thing. Longboard downhilling is more like it's a controlled slide. Whereas just regular electric skateboarding, you're just trying to have traction, more or less, and do carves. So a lot of things to think about. But I just really want to talk about how belts and hub are different, and it depend on the situation. With slower boards, urethane's great. That's all you really need. But with higher speeds, urethane is just too dangerous. I mean, I broke my elbow, I broke my ribs. They were all on urethane. But I've never fallen on rubber or pneumatics. So something to think about. How fast you want to go. Are you just going to carve? Are you going to go slow? Or are you want to speed a little bit? If you want to speed a little bit, hubs can be also good for speed, because if your ESC dies, ESC can fail. Your motor controller can fail at any time. That's the reality. It doesn't matter you bought it from a very, these things are electronics. They can fail. And if they fail on a belt board, you'll just literally faceplant because the force will cause your head to hit the ground first. Now, if you're on hub, that won't happen because you have no resistance. So if you really want to go fast, I mean, actually the best option would be like a 4-wheel with pneumatic hub. But it's gonna get really heavy. Or you could do very powerful hub. And then now we go on to maybe if you want to go really fast, something like a hub, maybe direct drive. All right, that could be an option. Well, direct drive still is it like hubs? Yeah, that could be an option. So yeah, I mean, we're sort of at the tip of the iceberg. And it's interesting that depending on the different setups of your skateboard, it makes it safe for certain things. It doesn't make it safe for certain things. As long as you're on very good roads, hubs can actually be better for faster speeds. Like I said, if you have battery failure, if BMS failure, ESC failure, these are all electronics. They can fail out of no reason at all. It could be it's solder. It's a weak solder point on your electronics that somehow, it just fails and shorts your whole board. It can happen to any board. You can have a defect. You will never know about it for 6 months, a whole year, and suddenly one day your ESC dies and then you fly off your board. And that's the thing you really got to watch out for. And, that's the scariest part about electric skateboards. No matter, what you do, it can still fail. Just know that. Just don't go too fast. Also. But have a great day. Just enjoying my quarantine time inside my car here.